All right. Once again, I am here with the lovely, the talented Sunny Hostin the day after a snowstorm. You were my snowstorm guest
Yes,
last time.
I was.
I shouldn't even say day after a snowstorm because right now, still outside is a massive blizzard.
Apparently so.
Here in New York City.
My husband is telling me we have 13 inches and about to get 6 more.
Yeah, it's still coming in pretty bad. Have you lost power? Are you okay?
We're okay. You made me
Yes.
stay at a hotel in the city.
I did, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you for doing that.
I like to be amongst my things.
I know. I was also in a hotel in the city.
Yes.
Which was crazy, and it's a lovely hotel. But the hotel, the wind was so
Yes, it was,
loud,
Brian.
It felt like maybe the whole building was going over.
It was shaking.
Yeah.
And I thought someone was pulling open my front door.
Yeah.
So I jumped out and I looked at the peephole
Yeah.
and no one was there. And then I realized it was the whole building shaking.
At one point, you and Anna and some of the producers were enjoying cocktails. And
I was having dinner by myself, and then 2 of our producers, Summer and Carly, came in, and they thought they wanted me to. They wanted to leave me alone, and I was so happy to see them so
Yes.
that I could complain to them about you.
Yes, and I was
Actually.
very happy to be alone and in my room.
And then Anna joined us.
Yes, and then today it was like a little bit of a flashback to COVID because we had Whoopi remote.
I know.
Whoopi was confident she'd be able to get out this morning, but they had the lockdown streets.
They
unfortunately.
shut down the streets.
Yeah, it was. Some mistakes were made. That being said, we had a good show. I think all things considered.
I think
and
all things considered.
I miss
we
having
did.
an audience, definitely.
Yeah.
But other than that, it
It's a
was
different
good.
energy, of course.
It definitely is. All right, and we'll see what happens tomorrow, but I think everyone will be here, so that'll be good. So now I have to bring up something that was not on my 2026 bingo card.
Yes.
But we had Savannah Chrisley guest hosting last week,
Yes.
and you two found that you had more in common than you expected.
We did. She's a fashion girl.
Mm-hmm.
She likes jewelry.
Yes.
She is a Christian, a faithful person. We just had a lot. Plus, I like young people.
You do.
So I had a lot to hang. I liked hanging out with her.
You weren't alone. The whole table seemed to really
I
enjoy
enjoyed
her.
I mean, I do, and I also like her loyalty to family.
Mm-hmm.
Where we part ways is, defending President Trump when you don't have to. I mean, yes, he pardoned her parents, and so I'm sure she feels some loyalty to him. But to say, I don't think he's racist, he is a racist. So you can definitely just say, listen, he pardoned my parents, and I thank him for that. But I don't agree with certain of his policies. And if he tweeted the racist tweet about the Obamas, then I would disagree with that. And
Which she also said was racist and wrong.
Yeah.
The tweet, but she doesn't believe. She believed the staffer did it.
Right, which is not true, not believable. But I thought all in all, she's, I don't know that many 28-year-old young women would be able to sit at the table. It takes a lot of courage and bravery and confidence, and she had that.
So the reaction from social media from our more ardent fans was loud. I obviously saw a lot of it.
Yeah, I didn't read it.
No, you never do. And God bless. And they were outraged at the idea that
Really?
they did not like the idea that there was anybody here that would be a supporter of Trump or MAGA on the table.
That's what the view is. You have to be able to sit with people that voted for him 3 times and support him and continue to support him. You have to be able to do that. I have family members that voted for him 3 times.
And I'm sure all these people do in their lives too. And maybe they've cut everybody else off that does.
I
but
haven't.
It's part of life.
It's hard.
Yeah, to speak with people that disagree with you strongly on these things.
It is. But that's what we do here.
Right. And I mean, I was reading, because I really shouldn't read all these comments, but most of them were yelling at me personally. But it's really, they're like, well, they're being held in check. They're being forced to do this. Like, no.
No, this is what we do.
Yes.
And I think what was good about Savannah is that I think she understood that.
Yeah.
If you go low, I go low.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go high, I go high. We can meet energy. And I thought her energy was pretty earnest. And
it was
pretty
true to herself.
harmless.
And yeah. So that's where we are. I mean, we had a different guest host today, Amanda Carpenter, did a great job and is not someone who's a Trump supporter per se, but still conservative.
Right.
We'll have others. Some may be, some may not be. And we definitely are looking forward to Alyssa coming back. Have you talked to her?
Yeah. I have.
She's doing great. She's very much in love with the baby.
She's obsessed with him.
But also watching the show and giving me notes, which I appreciate too.
She's obsessed with him, she should be.
She sent me a note last night at 11 o'clock saying, like, you got to talk about Kash Patel. I'm like, we will. It's all going to be fine. Let's talk about this Friday Supreme Court ruling that said President Trump does not have the power to unilaterally impose tariffs. Break this down for us.
I think that was really important because, the separation of powers between the three branches is very important. So you have the executive branch, and that's where President Trump is. And then you have the judicial branch, and that's where the Supreme Court sits. And then you have the legislative branch, which is, Congress, and that's the House and the Senate. And Congress has the power of the purse. And so anytime there's something like a tariff or something that financially affects the country, Congress is supposed to vote on that. This president bypassed Congress in enacting these tariffs using this very antiquated law that is generally it's never been used by a president ever before. And he sort of blamed, I guess his legal hook was that the tariffs were a means of national security, something like that. The Supreme Court did the right thing, led by Chief Justice Roberts, and actually joined by some of the conservatives as well, in stating that really it's Congress's call. You've got to have the separation of powers, and to allow this president to use that sort of regulation or that law to enact these tariffs as leverage against other countries expands the power of the executive branch way beyond the bounds of it.
And this is something that's been tested again and again in his presidency.
Yes.
And to this point, really, he's been allowed.
Greenlit. He's been allowed. And I think the Supreme Court sort of emboldened him when they gave him immunity from acts in office. Mm-hmm. And I think this is the Supreme Court hopefully reeling it back and explaining to this president and to this executive branch that there is a balance of power and a checks and balances and a separation of powers. And so I was thrilled when I saw it. I wasn't surprised that, of course, Clarence Thomas, he just never disappoints, and he was in the dissent. Justice Alito also in the dissent. But there were very strong concurrences by many of the justices, and you saw a much more united court with conservatives and liberal justices. So we're on the right path.
I was going to say, you've had some little lapses of faith with the Supreme Court, I think it's fair to say.
I think the American public, the Supreme Court has its lowest approval rating in history. Yeah. And I too am very, very disappointed in the Justice Department. I mean, I just don't recognize the place that I loved and worked for. But the Supreme Court, this decision is the right one, and so I'm a little more hopeful.
Yeah,
I'm not all the way.
No, but
I'm a little more hopeful though.
And then, of course, predictably, I guess nobody would be surprised by this, but the president went after the Supreme Court after this and
personally attacking them.
Yeah, called them lapdogs who were unpatriotic. He said at one point they were disloyal.
Well, that's the interesting thing. When you're a Supreme Court justice, your loyalty is to the Constitution. When you're a federal prosecutor, your loyalty is to the Constitution. You represent the people of the United States. And I think he's just got it twisted and confused. You don't pledge loyalty to the President of the United States. That's not what you do.
Nor to the one that appointed you necessarily.
No, never, ever. And so, he just doesn't. He thinks the Justice Department is his private law firm, and he thinks that the Supreme Court justices are his judges. It's really something. I don't know that we've seen this in history.
Well, speaking of the DOJ and your disappointments with them, a banner featuring a photo of Donald Trump and the words "Make America Safe Again" was hung from the Department of Justice headquarters in Washington on Thursday. What
you sent that to me, and I thought it was AI.
I know you did.
I said to you, this must be AI, because I walked in and out of that building many times, and it's a very stately building, and you're not supposed to hang a banner off of it like you're at a stadium. This is the Department of Justice. This has a storied history. This is where really important, smart people work. This is where the rule of law is enforced. Either he is a malignant narcissist.
To be fair, we don't know that he decreed this should happen. This could have been Pam Bondi. This could have been somebody else
sure
just kissing butt. But
it's either that or the same White House staffer that put out the racist
tweet.
Yeah. Maybe that staffer did it.
Well, he wasn't fired. So, wow. No, it's really something else. I mean, it felt like something out of a movie. You see like the banner unfurled over the
it's just
Department of Justice, which traditionally is separate from the executive branch. Also,
correct. It's just not.
Not separate from the executive branch, but separate from the presidency politically.
It's separate politically. It's an apolitical office.
Yes,
an apolitical office, and there was always sort of that, in my experience, always this wall between them,
right,
as it should be. And I think that's why when James Comey was part of the Department of Justice, and President Trump during his first term was calling Comey into dinners, private dinners, it made him uncomfortable. Anybody who's read his book, whatever side of the aisle you are and whatever opinion you have about the former FBI director, it is unusual for an FBI director to meet privately other than a briefing with the President of the United States to discuss political matters. It
longer.
Doesn't happen.
All right. One thing I think that you will like that President Trump is doing is that he plans to release the files on aliens and UFOs.
I'm supportive of that.
There you go.
I am supportive of that. I think President Obama slipped up when he admitted, as we all knew, or at least as I knew, that they do exist. Now, he also admitted that they're not in Area 51, but he didn't say alien spacecraft were not in Area 51. Because I've been parsing those words, and I've been reviewing them and researching them. And so now I believe that the aliens that have been retrieved, they probably died. They are probably in Area 52 now. Mm-hmm. But I think the alien spacecraft probably still are in Area 51.
There's a whole Fort Knox theory. Have you heard this? That
yes, I have.
There's no more gold in Fort Knox, so what's in Fort Knox and who's been in there? Yeah.
I'm waiting for those files.
Yeah. All right. So this is exciting. Yeah. And President Trump also said Obama said more than he should have. And
because I think he slipped up about the aliens.
Wow. All right.
I think he did.
All right. Well, this is exciting. We'll be following it. But release.
See, I get a lot of heat from that.
Yeah.
But I've been right for 10 years.
Listen, statistically speaking, it is a very large universe.
Well, it takes a lot of hubris as a human being to say that we are the most intelligent form of life in this universe. I just think it takes a lot of hubris to do that. We cannot possibly be. Well, there must be more intelligent life forms and other life forms. I mean, come on, and I have the humility to be able to acknowledge that there must be more intelligent life forms and other life forms out there.
Well, there's so many stars, even more planets.
And I've studied through, a lot.
Let's talk about Punch the Monkey. So the biggest story right now, blowing up everybody's social media.
I'm obsessed.
Punch the Monkey. Footage of Punch, a 7-month-old Japanese monkey, has gone viral around the world after he was rejected by his mother.
Yes.
And formed a bond.
After a hard labor in the heat.
Yeah.
I know a lot about Punch.
He formed a bond with a soft toy.
Yes, he did.
I know you're heavily invested here.
I really am, because I think, I've been bullied. Mm-hmm. I've been made to feel like an outsider. I've seen it happen to so many people, and to see it happen in, to this little macaque monkey is really heartbreaking, because, they're more like us than people acknowledge.
Well, clearly they bully each other.
They bully each other, and they're mean to each other. And I've been watching it. I said it on the show. I mean, if one of those monkeys took his plushie, I was like willing to fly to Japan.
All right.
That was going to be ridiculous if they took his one comfy that he needed. But now he has an auntie monkey who is grooming him and hugging him.
Yes.
And so
it has a happy ending so far.
I think it's going to be okay.
All right. I heard Kash Patel's going to go down there and celebrate with him and bring him to the State of the Union.
Well, I am into animal rescue.
Yes.
So I think it was in my algorithm very early, because I have so
My
many,
wife sent it to me, and
I have so many animal things in my algorithm that when I do look at Instagram, I look at animal rescue stuff. And so Punch came up almost immediately. My husband knew nothing about Punch, and he actually is home today because of the blizzard and just texted me. I will read it to you.
Please.
He said, are you so desperate for content today that you need to talk about monkeys?
Wow.
And I responded, I'm obsessed with Punch. How dare you?
Wow. All
I
right.
stuck up for our content.
Well, we'll find out when I get the minute-by-minute ratings and see if America's with you or not. It was divisive in the room.
It was.
Some were very excited about it, some were less. But
I'm excited about Punch, and I'm going to continue to follow it.
Exactly. All right. Well, we'll be here. We will take you every beat of the Punch story moving forward. All right. There was a story on our Hot Topics list today about whether a better credit score is the key to a better relationship. Apparently, people are putting their credit scores on their dating app profiles now. What do you think of this? I feel like this would come in. You do the math on this, I think.
I think it's smart. Mm-hmm. I think that if you look at the reasons for divorce in this country, I'm going to try to think about it methodically. They are sex, children, and finances. Mm-hmm. Those are the three top reasons. And I think the top one is finances. So if you are starting out with someone who is bad at money, who has a low FICO score, you're not going to be able to build a solid financial future, or to be harder, you can't buy a home, which is really the generator of most American wealth. I think someone with a high FICO score would probably make, in the long term, a better partner.
So interestingly, when I first started dating, I had a bad credit score when I first started dating my wife.
Yeah.
And it's because
I had debt.
Well, I had a lot of debt. And then, as you like to point out, young people, it takes them a while for their frontal lobes to be fully developed. In college, and I did this deliberately, I had plans for a getaway weekend with a girl, and I got a credit card with no intention of paying it back. Yes. I was just like, I need to pay for this weekend, and I'll deal with that later. And I did this, and I had a lovely weekend.
Yeah.
And then didn't pay this debt forever, destroyed my credit, took me years to get it back.
Yes.
And now it's great and perfect. And
I had a similar problem.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I grew up poor, and I get to college at 16 years old, and there are credit card companies in the student union giving you credit cards. And I mean, I had like a credit card to like every store in the mall.
Yeah.
With a 29% rate of interest. And I got them all, man. I got them all. And I looked cute, and I was in a lot of debt. And it also took me years to get out of the debt. And it's so frustrating because I had scholarships, right?
Right.
But then I messed up
traded it for credit card debt.
Yeah, I messed up my credit. And I remember when I met Manny, who has always had stellar credit because his family was a bit wealthier. His mother was concerned about my debt. It was she called it debit. She's from Spain. She kept on saying she has debit. And he was like, "What are you talking about?" But it was the debt, and that was a big concern. And her thinking was, you get into a marriage with someone, and someone with debt, that becomes your debt.
Well,
ultimately.
Heather said to me she would have reconsidered if she was aware of my credit score.
Really?
When we first got together. Yeah.
I think putting your credit score could pull you some people.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So anyway,
it's a good move.
No, I think it's smart, and it does I think it does speak to maturity of a certain way.
Yes.
Of self-control, maturity.
Although my kids don't have credit scores because I don't allow them to have credit cards.
Well, I will
it's
say,
hard to build credit.
I, like you, did eventually garner some credit card debt, and I eventually got rid of it. And since the day I got rid of it, I've never carried a balance since.
Yeah.
Ever, because
I don't use credit cards.
I don't either. I use charge cards and pay them off at the end of the month, and that's it.
Yeah.
But it's very.
I don't use them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a luxury to be able to not use them. People need to do that.
Of course it is. Yeah.
But it really is a trap, and you get buried under it.
28% credit.
It's
30%.
Yeah.
Interest rates.
All right, I got another one here. Okay. In other news, Paris Hilton posed naked in a post to celebrate her 45th birthday.
Oh.
Is this empowering, and would you ever do it?
I would personally never do it. Mm-hmm. But I have a friend, I think she's going to post them. She turned 50, and she did this awesome photo shoot nude, and she looks really good. And she sent me one of the pictures. She's sort of covered up, but she looks great. And I think it felt empowering for her. I'm too modest.
Yeah, sure.
So I wouldn't do it.
Wow. All right. Well, I mean, I think it's good to be positive and proud of yourself, and there's no shame in it.
I don't think there's any shame in it. The one thing that I wish I had done more of is there was that famous cover of Demi Moore when she was pregnant and she was sort of covered, but you could see her belly. Mm-hmm. And I don't have any pictures of my belly. And Paloma asked me recently if I had taken any pictures while I was pregnant. And I have one picture at my baby shower with Paloma, and you can see that I'm hugely pregnant. I think we showed it on the show for Alyssa's baby shower, but I don't have any other photos.
Oh, wow.
I was huge.
We took one right before my first daughter was born, like just the last, right? We packed up the bag and we were leaving for the hospital. And we took one.
I should have done that, and I didn't do that.
All right. Now, do you think Manny would like tasteful photos of you?
Yeah, he would love that, and he's not going to get it. He's not getting that.
Yeah. No. All right. There's another story on the list about a woman who has always thought oversharing in the workplace would be career suicide. But then she tried it and said this is what she learned. Oversharing isn't always wise, but in the right context, especially among people who already hold power, revealing something real about yourself can unlock a deeper level of trust. What do you think about this?
Oh, I don't like it.
No?
No. I mean, we have to overshare
professionally. Yeah.
In this job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taken me a while to be able to do that.
Right.
So I think at The View, we just have a different work experience.
Yeah.
And so we all know so much about each other's lives.
I was going to say, your hair and makeup team knows everything about
they know
you.
Everything
and
about me.
Your producers
I know
you.
Everything about them. I know you know everything about me.
Yeah.
But like when I was working at the Department of Justice, I wouldn't tell them.
Right.
I wouldn't tell anybody anything. No. I would tell Regina, and that's it.
I overshare, which makes it hard sometimes because I have to slip into boss mode sometimes. So I'm like, chatting and then
but this
suddenly
is a different environment.
Yeah.
But at other places, I've never shared personal life. I mean, as an attorney, no way.
No, that makes sense.
I would agree with career suicide on that one.
All right, before we go, I know you're one very proud mom, and we saw why today, but tell me about Paloma's art show.
Paloma is a second-year art student at college, and she's been painting on our walls since she was probably 3, and drawing on our walls. And I remember, we would call our painters and say, "Oh, Paloma drew on the wall again. Can you please come and paint over it?" And
now it's probably worth a fortune.
Well, our guy, when she was about 8 or maybe 6, said, but did you look at it? It's really good. And I'll never forget that. And now she is a proper artist. And the Harlem Fine Arts Show is one of the oldest art shows in the country.
Oh, cool.
And it's one of the biggest. And you have to submit your work and submit your bio. And there's a board that decides. And she is one of the youngest ever admitted to exhibit
that's
there.
Fantastic.
And it really was affirming for her. Her work is beautiful, but I will tell you, when we had to set up her booth for her, and I'm carrying these big pieces. Manny and I don't know what we're doing. We're FaceTiming with her because her flight from Ithaca was canceled, and so she had to drive in, and she was exhausted. And we're FaceTiming. Is this she's like, that's not the proper height. The gaze of the subject has to. You have to be able to look at the paint. It was all this drama. And she walked in, and she was walking past other artists' booths. And she said, I don't belong here. And I said, you do belong here. Just sit and man your booth. The other artists started coming to her work on opening night and asking her about her work, asking her how old she was. And when they found out she was 19 years old, one was a former art teacher that had become a fine artist. And he said, keep on doing it. You have tremendous talent.
Oh, how wonderful.
And so she cried, and she left so affirmed. And
this is the imposter syndrome that you never feel.
Yes,
but
she felt it.
Yeah.
And I have, I think it doesn't mean as much when mommy is saying,
no,
you are so talented. You go, girl. You can do it. And daddy and papa saying it. But for another artist, artists that have been doing it forever, telling her, you keep on going. I think it was, she told me it was life-changing
Oh,
for her.
that's
So
wonderful.
I felt great about it. I wanted to announce it on the show on Friday that she would be exhibiting, but then she didn't want me to. So,
So instead you celebrated after the fact,
I
but that was great.
celebrated it after.
No, it was, I mean,
Yeah.
I know nothing about art other than it seemed really beautiful.
Thank you. She sold like almost all of her pieces.
That's incredible.
It was incredible. My son was like, her bank account's looking really good now, isn't it?
Wait
I
a minute.
It sure is.
See? There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, let's leave there. That's great. Thank you for joining me
you.
today, Sunny. Tomorrow I'll be back with Joy, who should make it tomorrow,
Yes,
we think.
I think she drove in.
Yeah, she came in
before the
Saturday.
storm. We've been texting. Yes.
And so we will see her tomorrow, and we'll see you then.